say you wanna watch a drama. You say you wanna watch a comedy. Well, you can watch it with your mama, or you can watch it with your daddy.
You'll even sit and watch it with your middle schooler, so you can come and talk around a water cooler. We're watching all day and all night.
Couch potatoes unite.
Whoa, whoa.
Couch potatoes unite.
Whoa, whoa. Couch potatoes unite.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the podcast entitled Couch Potatoes Unite! Which is based on a blog of the same name because it's like what we used to be, only supersized. Yet if you need something a little smaller, a taste test if you will, we're about to have you covered just in time for the holidays. My name is Kylie and I love TV. If you feel the same, keep listening and or checking out our website, couchpotatoesunite.wordpress.com, as you're bound to find some common ground or something you like. For Couch Potatoes Unite, we're all about the wonders and the unique long-form storytelling of the small screen. CPU, ! Hopes you've been following releases of brand new episodes of the podcast on Wednesdays, as well as new blog entries on some Tuesdays, and as always, we have several more new episodes on the way. Because the panelists and I live lives behind our podcast, the episodes are published once per week. Subscribe to the website or the podcast via iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, CastBox, Amazon Music, basically anywhere you get your podcasts to stay on top of brand new episodes. Episodes already published discuss a variety of shows around the water cooler, including, but not limited to, Stranger Things, iZombie, The Good Place, Game of Thrones, American Horror Story, Grace and Frankie, Mr. Robot, Charmed, and Riverdale. Plus, new episodes are in the works, including revisits for Altered Carbon, Doctor Who, Schitt's Creek, Westworld, Fuller House, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, How to Get Away with Murder, Will and Grace, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The Crown, Supernatural, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. The MASH Retrospective Series panel will reminisce about Seasons 4 through 7. The Outlander panel will get caught up on Season 2. The DCTU Series panel will chat Season 3 of Black Lightning, and the Star Trek 50 Plus series will talk Season 4 of The Next Generation. We'll be launching new panels covering the Breaking Bad universe, This Is Us, The Orville, Big Little Lies, The Good Doctor, Call the Midwife, The Animaniacs, Killing Eve, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And because we look back at shows now past, we'll consider the moral implications and quick cancellation of Dollhouse. We'll travel through time and experience all sorts of identities with Quantum Leap. We'll thank the Golden Girls for being friends. We'll cry bazinga for Big Bang Theory, and we'll dive deep into the fantasy world of the magicians. By the way, did you know that CPU also from time to time goes live? We've been live from bunkers, comedy shows, Comic-Cons, and game stores. Plus, we're planning more live appearances and other cool stuff, including in these semi-quarantine times. So make sure you like or follow us at our Facebook page, our Twitter at CPU Podcast, our Instagram at Couch Potatoes Unite, or subscribe to our website, our YouTube channel, our Apple iTunes channel, our Stitcher Radio channel, or find us on Google Podcasts, Spotify, CastBox, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. In the meantime, if you don't hear a show in this podcast format, fellow panelists and I still write reviews, and we always seek new panelists. So if you have any interest in joining the discussion, say hello by finding us at any of those outlets I've mentioned. At the very least, stop by and leave us a thumbs up, comment, or review. We like feedback, even mini feedback. That joke will land in a minute. Today we're launching a new feature on CPU, again just in time for the holidays. From time to time, CPU receives requests to cover mini-series, which are only ever 3 to 10 episodes on average, but are every bit as important to the television landscape as full-length series. After all, they have their own Emmy and Golden Globe categories and can be generally acclaimed both popularly and critically. Because miniseries are what they're named, mini, Couch Potatoes Unite decided to jump aboard this tiny train of appreciating the shorter, long-form storytelling of the miniseries, and in a shorter manner, with a new feature called Minipod. In Minipod are normal panels of couch potatoes and couch potatoes adjacent gathered together, quickly and briefly, for a miniature chat in a miniature episode length about a miniature series, miniseries, or at least a handful of meaningful episodes. This feature does not include aspects of our normal talks, such as the standard character question that changes with each show we do, because it's designed to be a quick reflection on a smaller TV series or handful of episodes, sometimes revolving around a theme or an aspect that means something to us in the moment. It's more like a prompted panel interview. Also, the moderator most times, or maybe sometimes, will not participate to keep the whole thing on task and mini, as the name suggests. What's more, we're launching this series just in time for the holidays, and with that in mind, we hope to start a tradition at the holidays with our mini-pods in which one or more of our couch potatoes, and whomever they wish to invite, talks about their annual viewing traditions on TV, and possibly movies in limited circumstances. To that end, tonight's episode is the first in our holiday mini-pod series. In tonight's episode, our associate producer, Selene, along with her wife, Kels, and another they've invited, gathered together around the water cooler decked in holly and sugar plums with chestnuts roasting on an open fire nearby. But with all of the appropriate fire safety, of course, kids. Please be safe. To talk about one of their most important holiday traditions. And that is Terry Pratchett'S Hogfather. Terry Pratchett'S Hogfather is a two-part television film adaptation, though it is 3 parts in its current streaming homes of IMDb TV and Amazon Prime, of the Discworld novel Hogfather by Terry Pratchett, first broadcast on Sky One over Christmas 2006 in the United Kingdom in 2 1.5-hour episodes. Notably, it was the first live-action film adaptation of a Discworld novel. The series closely follows the plot of the novel, in which the Hogfather, the Discworld equivalent of Father Christmas or Santa Claus, has gone missing, and Death, voiced by Ian Richardson, is forced to take his place, while Death's granddaughter Susan, played by Michelle Dockery, attempts to find out what happened. Today, in the first episode of our holiday mini-pod series, Selene, Kels, and family, to be introduced, discuss their holiday tradition of watching Terry Pratchett'S Hogfather and what it means to them. As always, it should be noted that all of our panelists have watched all of Hogfather and will without doubt discuss sensitive plot points, so for those of you who have not watched this mini-series, listen at your own risk, as there may be major spoilers. At this time, this is how this works, this mini-pod situation. It's not like one of our typical episodes. In fact, we're going to go as rapid fire, but as, nicely reflective as we can. Okay, I'm going to ask them some questions about Hogfather and what it means to them, and they're going to answer them, and that's how it's going to work in a mini-pod fashion. Okay.
Woot woot. Okay.
Woot woot, they're excited. All right. Always good to start excited. Okay, so now we're talking about this. We have to at least introduce you. So tell us, what is your name? First name only, not your life story. You know how this works. And then, how did you find Couch Potatoes Unite? And what are some panels that you are on or are going to be on?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm Selene.
Hi, Selene.
Hi. And I found Couch Potatoes Unite through Kels, my wife, who was on panels and was like, oh, hey, I gotta go talk about this show, like Supernatural or Vampire Diaries or something. And it's like, oh, I don't watch those, but I watch other TV. And I was like, Kylie, because I know you. And I was like, I want to do some shows. So I did. And now I do lots of shows.
That's weird.
All true.
Panels that I have been on: The 100, Person of Interest, The Good Place, Series of Unfortunate Events, Firefly, and others. I'm forgetting lots, and others.
TBD.
All true.
Yes.
Hello, Selene. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Kels.
Hi, Kels.
Hi. I first heard about Couch Potatoes Unite, I think, at its birth from you, because we've been friends a very long time.
It's true.
And it's true. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think my first panel may have been the Vampire Diaries, ?
I
Not
think
sure.
you're right.
Yeah, I've also been on, I made a list, probably not all of them, but I've been on Supernatural, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Series of Unfortunate Events, Sense8, Firefly, The 100, Altered Carbon, Vampire Diaries, The Good Place, and I think parts of New Girl.
I've affected you so much. Well, welcome back, Kels.
Thanks.
You guys were matching each other's meter and it was weirding me out. I'm not gonna lie. It was very strange. It was like iambic pentameter, but for nerds.
It happens when you're married.
And who's the person criticizing their meter?
Hey, I'm Denise.
Hi, Denise.
I'm Selene's sister and Kels's sister-in-law.
True.
'Cause that's how that works.
Hey, Denise.
Hey, what's up? I heard about Couch Potatoes United because, well, I'm related to both of them, and they're on it, and sometimes you can hear me in the background of some of them, but I've never been on them.
Yet.
Till now. You're welcome. I'm here.
Hello.
Hi.
So, speaking of being on it, do you know some of the panels that you are slated to be on?
Yes, I too have a list. Big Bang Theory, and I've been told Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Surprise!
Woohoo!
Well,
I
welcome.
may not have nominated her for that one.
Instead of a gender reveal, I get a podcast reveal.
Yes.
Nice. Every time I come home, hey Denise, you're that. Got it.
It's an Andy Samberg.
Okay, it's okay now. I'm fine with it.
I knew it.
I'm so humble. Okay.
Well, welcome to Couch Potatoes Unite, Denise.
Thanks.
Looking forward to all of the talk about
Oh,
those and other
should've.
shows that you will be volunteered for.
You should
Okay.
not.
So, now we're talking about your special holiday viewing tradition, which is Terry Pratchett's Hogfather. So, how did you come to watch Hogfather? What made you start watching it?
Well, back when I was small and in high school, I somehow stumbled across it on the internet. It was like the first movie I think I illegally watched online. I'm not even sure how I stumbled across it. Honestly, like, just one of those really random things. And I watched it and I fell in love with it. And a couple of years later, Denise is visiting me here in Grand Rapids. And we're at Barnes & Noble.
Yep.
And I like had a freak out in the aisle because I saw it. I found it. And I was like, oh, Denise, we have to watch it when we get home. And then I bought it and I made her watch it.
You know what else I remembered about that?
What?
Is that that's the same trip where we were putting on British accents, and that guy was like, "Where from England are you from?" The exact same trick.
Yeah, sometimes in public we do accents for no good reason. And this old guy legitimately thought we were from England. And was asking us questions like, what part of the old country are you from? And I can't do it anymore. I used to be good at that accent. I'm not anymore. I'm out of
Hello,
practice.
listeners from the UK. We do have some, you know.
Yes. And it was awkward. We didn't know how to tell him that we were faking, so we went along and he kept talking to us. It was a moment.
Are you proud of this moment?
Well, I'm just going to segue. I first started watching The Hogfather. Well, I was familiar with the book because I'm a giant Terry Pratchett fan. And I think it was, well, I know it was my ex-father-in-law, my ex-husband's dad, who introduced me to the movie. I think it was because I told him that I loved Terry Pratchett, but it also happened to be our family Christmas party. And he said, hey, I have this movie we're all going to watch now, and just put it in. And I was so excited, and I was the only family member who actually watched it excitedly. And everyone else watched it for maybe a minute, if that, and then just like ignored it and went and talked amongst themselves. So yeah, that was how I first came to watch it.
Yeah, Selene already touched on this, but we were at Barnes & Noble, and I just hear my sister go, "Oh my god, it's here! The Hogfather!" And I was just like, speak English. What are you doing? And she's like, we're watching this. It's my favorite holiday film. And I was like, sure it is. Yeah, this thing I've never heard you mention before. And then we went back to her place, and we watched Bedlam, followed by The Hogfather, and she was correct in the fact that it was one of the better holiday films of all time, and I don't admit that willingly. So, yes.
Fair enough.
I don't know if I've ever heard you say Selene was right about something.
Did you notice? I did not say she was right. I said she was accurate.
You said correct.
Correct.
Let's re-roll that.
I never said she was right.
Okay.
Well, listener, tell us what she said, because you're going to get the whole snippet on the recording.
Please comment.
Please comment. Tweet at us. CPU
Please
Podcast.
K-word me below.
So how did watching Hogfather become a holiday tradition for you?
It's simple. I am a rewatcher of movies often. I yearly rewatch V for Vendetta and Titanic and some other films, and this is one of those that happens every year. Hocus Pocus is another one. There are some movies that I just keep watching.
Hocus Pocus and even The Hogfather makes sense to me.
But however, celebrating the death of hundreds by rewatching the death of hundreds is a little bit rude, I think. It's a slap in the face to the families of the Titanic.
And also V for Vendetta
Also Jack,
is funny.
for not being able to be on the doorframe. Just once. They could trade places. Take turns in the ocean.
I mean, they should have had an alternate ending. So that, like,
Jack Liz.
every other time you watch it, you could just, like...
The boat doesn't
Any
sink?
whatsoever. I like to just rewatch movies, and this is one of those that I love to rewatch, and the Christmas season is the perfect time to rewatch it. So I just started doing it, and others around me have come to have to accept the fact that this is a tradition, whether they like it or not. And I like it, so...
That's actually really accurate.
Yeah, she forces her traditions upon you until all of a sudden you look around and you're like, what, year 7? How did this happen?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I could go into more detail, but yes, that's really what it is.
Yeah, no, I agreed it was a good holiday film, and she went, we should watch this every year, and I wasn't opposed. So now we watch it every year, Christmas Eve.
So now, the next question, similar but different, and I'm segueing because you're kind of going that way. Not how did watching it become a tradition, but why did watching it become a tradition?
Because Selene made us. But also, I guess I can throw in our cute first Christmas story here. Mm-hmm. So, the first Christmas that Selene and I spent together, we were in my house, which is almost 100 years old, I think, or over. No, it will be 100 years old this year, actually.
And it was built by dreams, not by blueprints.
It literally was, or at least maintained by dreams. I don't know. There are some things that are very questionable. The first winter that we were here, I believe it was literally Christmas Eve. We had an ice dam on our flat roof that caused a giant cave-in / flood in the back part of our house.
The water was literally dripping out of the light fixture. Like, the light bulb was dripping water.
Yeah. So we decided to shut off power to the back part of our house so that we didn't have an electrical fire, because Lord knows what the wires look like back there. We had no stove, nothing. It was also the first year that my daughter was with her dad for Christmas, so it was my first Christmas without my daughter. So I was feeling a little bummed. We didn't have an oven. It was kind of like a lame Christmas, and we ended up making the most of it. We brought the toaster oven into like one of the rooms and made a bunch of like appetizer, like pizza rolls and tuna melts, and then like wings and mozzarella sticks and stuff, and then we had some wine and did puzzles and watched The Hogfather, and it was like one of the best like little Christmases I've ever had. And so now every time we do it, it reminds me of that first Christmas, so it's really sweet.
I'm just easily pleased with accurate representations of my inner soul death. But yeah, cute Christmas stuff as well.
Okay.
Yup.
All right. So what, if anything, do you do to make watching Hogfather more special? What conditions have to be present to make this annual tradition correct or appropriate in your eyes? Or perfect?
There's not a lot, because we're not really picky as long as we're watching it. Yep. Except that I always fall asleep. Well, the first 2 times I watched it, I did not fall asleep, but now that I know what's happening...
Consistently falls asleep during the first half.
Yeah, pretty consistently. I don't know what it is.
She wakes up for the important parts.
I do! Like clockwork. It's not even intentional. I just know. I can feel it.
I sense this.
I sense that it's coming, and I wake up. Yeah, so that's probably the only consistent thing.
I don't know. I'm normally like PJs, hot beverage, lip popcorn. Unfortunately, Selene is required. I don't know why.
She owns it, probably.
It's because I own
that
it.
That works too. I was going to say family time for holidays, but yeah.
She did air quotes there for the listener.
Yes, air quotes around.
Family.
Yeah, they're important, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
I'm not picky, I just want to watch it.
She says with a wide grin and bright eyes.
Yep.
Imp face, we call it.
Imp.
We often have started joking that Selene is 7 imps in a human suit. Yep.
I don't know how to respond
She
to that.
didn't fight it, so.
I really wish it wasn't true, but yeah.
Okay.
It's been a long day, Kylie.
I have no response, so I shall unnaturally segue to what element, what element or elements of this miniseries speaks to you the most about the holiday season and why?
Well, how can you go wrong with death taking over for the Hogfather / Christmas? Like,
And to make that, societally normal. Grim Reaper becoming Santa.
yay!
It's all my dreams came true.
Yeah, it's pretty amusing in that way. And then there's Death Rat.
Death Rat.
I mean, I wouldn't call Death Rat Holiday.
But he's in a little... No, he's not in a little Santa suit.
he's not.
No,
He's
I made that up in my head. Wouldn't it be cute if he was?
Oh my god, Death Rat in a little Hogfather cap.
I know.
Imagine him with a stuffed pillow. I would pay $10 to see that.
A little, pincushion.
Yeah!
Yes. The little bindle for his sack. Oh, it'd be so cute on his little scythe.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else, though?
Your favorite scene thing.
Oh, what is
That's
my
very-
favorite? Oh, yeah, one of my favorite scenes was when Death is talking to Albert, his helper, who also, incidentally, is very elf-like, which is another holiday thing. But they're going around delivering presents to all the kids, and they get to a family that is more impoverished. Poor, as it were. And the little boy has asked for a list of 5 things, probably. And Albert says, oh, too bad he's getting this wooden toy and an apple, neither of which are on the list. Death is very concerned at this, and he says, why? I'm the Hogfather, I can give him all of these things. And they have this debate about, I couldn't remember this term before either. Economic disparity.
Your face got so excited when you thought you remembered it.
I know. I always want to say disparity, which is not a word.
Disparaging is a word.
So economic disparity, and how, if Death were to give him all these things, it would, throw off the balance. But then Death, gives him all the things anyway, which I think is sort of, generosity, and these, Christmas miracles are sort of, it's kind of the, I don't know, the spirit of Christmas to me.
Like the match girl, when he gives the match girl back life. And
Yeah.
Albert's like, you can't do that. He's like, I can't. But the Hogfather can.
I just like the idea that throwing off the balance is you're going to throw off the balance. As if a magical wild boar man handing out presents isn't already a weird thing happening that throws off some form of balance.
Right. Or anything that happens in Ankh-Morpork on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like,
Or handing a small girl a weapon in a department store.
It's educational.
It is.
But what if she hurts herself?
She'll learn not to hurt herself again. Pointy end is for other people, not yourself.
Yes. I think the entire... Well, first off, obviously, it's Christmas adjacent. It's just, parallel world adjacent.
It's just better.
Yeah, honestly, kind of.
there's magic.
Wizards who are very incompetent, but somehow
And
are
thanks-
competent.
And thanks to ABC Family, wizards are Christmas now. Gotta love those Harry Potter promos.
And, well, the Tooth Fairy finally gets to be a part of, any holiday.
Excuse me. She is every day. She
You're
makes
right.
Every day a holiday.
And everyone ignores her for the most part. Finally, the Tooth
I-
Fairy gets to be a major
be-
part of a movie.
to be fair,
Excuse me.
we ignore it a little bit because it feels cannibalistic.
Didn't Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson not ignore the Tooth Fairy?
You're right, because he is the best human ever made.
Fair.
Just saying.
The Tooth Fairy is in this movie, and
Gave tooth fairies the proper acknowledgement. Yes. Calcium deposits, everybody. They're important.
we're getting way off.
So,
What was the main question?
how is this holiday?
How does
What
this
speaks
remember
to you about what about this speaks the most to you about the holiday season and why?
Death learning.
Death trying his best to make sure that everyone else has what they need or expect from this day.
Yeah.
Doing everything in his power to make sure that everything stays homeostasis. I appreciate that on every level.
Yep.
And Death Rat.
Hashtag death rat.
That's my new band's name.
That's my new Twitter handle. You can't even put hashtags in Twitter handles. I'm going to write out hashtag death.
So is Hogfather excellent TV or merely entertaining or appropriate TV for the context? Talk about this TV show in terms of its quality like you were reviewing it.
I'm going to say excellent TV because awesome story. Like, it's a complex story that's not, like, very simplified, very, like, it's not, so many of your Christmas movies are, like, Santa with, like, one little thing thrown in the way and then they defeat it, or Santa figures out.
Saturated in capitalism.
Yeah, I mean, this series is complex. It has multiple storylines that all don't, you know, at first glance, you're like, how are these connected? But they do connect in the end, and very well. It's very satirical of Christmas without being, like, rude.
Overtly mawkish.
Or overtly mawkish. Like, it honestly, like, it looks at it, it calls out the ironies and the counterintuitive points of Christmas, while also making you still love it, even though it's flawed. And it's just, there's a very rich world. The characters are all excellently cast. Like, and I believe every single one of those characters is truly there. It's not just an actor pulling a job. I think all the actors do amazing.
Even the extras.
Yes.
Like,
Extras,
I believe that they
one-liners.
all have, like, full backstories.
Mm-hmm.
You're making this show sound like that drill tweet where it says I'll rip the mask off of God or something and walk backwards into hell.
I don't know what that is.
Me neither.
Okay.
Me neither.
Somebody might.
Someone will. Someone will get me. I see you, Tumblr. But, yeah, speaking from a film minor kind of point of view, is the script is extremely well done dialogue-wise, exposition-wise. I know Kels has some feelings about that.
Yeah.
I'll let her talk about that. But speaking, it is very fluid as a script. It doesn't, when it takes things out of the story, it doesn't forget that it took it out and, like, make references to it later, at least none that I've noticed. If you do notice some, it's a fun game. Point it out to me, make me look foolish. I bet you can't.
Spicy Christmas.
So, someone out there's got to be competitive. I'm getting people to watch it, guys. It's very, very fluid, and it does a great transition from book to movie, which is very, very rare. Shout out to Holes, well done. And the production value they put into it, you can tell they had faith in what they were producing, because they decided to just throw money at that, and it does honestly make a difference in portraying it, because, like, I know Death is a little bit, you can tell he's kind of puppetry-ish.
Oh, yeah, but it's part of the charm.
That's what I'm saying. It is part of the charm. It could have gone very wrong. Mm-hmm. Like I said, like, Primeval BBC, they threw money at that, but, like, honey, please.
Wrong kind of money.
Wrong kind of money, wrong kind of spending. CGI did not work well for them. It's okay. I still love you. They threw money in a way that, like, they did it so true to what I think Terry Pratchett would have approved of. I know he was alive at the time. Don't know his thoughts on it personally.
He was in it.
He's the shopkeeper at the end.
Yeah, but I don't know his personal feelings on how they did on the After Effects. Just because you're in it doesn't mean you know how it's going to turn out.
Fair point. Real fun fact. Time out. Fun fact. Apparently, he was flying back home after filming his one scene, and he had a whole bunch of teeth from the set, and customs pulled him over and kept him for like 3 hours because they were really weirded out by the fact that he had a thing full of teeth. And he's like, guys, aren't you more concerned about my box labeled death? They were like, no, it's the teeth.
Honestly, I wouldn't be either.
Maybe it was, I would have been worried about, like, both, personally.
But you guys,
like, in combination.
Guys, it's Terry Pratchett. You know he picked through and picked out only canines. That's what's weird.
Oh, he was such a wonderful man.
Love him. Rip Terry Pratchett.
R.I.P. Were you?
Your
exposition?
I told yes.
Okay.
My points are finished.
So yes, I agree with everything that they just said, but I just want to say that my only criticism of the show, it feels weird calling it a show, but it is a miniseries, is that I feel like they throw a lot of exposition in very quickly. If you're not familiar with Discworld, the world that Terry Pratchett has created. It can feel like a head rush and a wild trip when you first start the movie, because it pretty much is just like, hey, okay, so we're in this world and you're on the back of a flying turtle through space that is also on 4 elephants, and it's flat world, and now we're gonna go zoom in on this one city that's called Ankh-Morpork, and there's magic there, but it's like pretty commonplace for magic to be there, and there's this giant tower with wizards, and now we're gonna go into this other part of the city, and it's Hogswatch, which is like Christmas, and go. Which is basically the pace of the exposition. A little slower. It's like, because it's British. But
I see.
but that's pretty much all the time they give you to like catch up and know what's happening. And I think anyone who isn't familiar might be a little shell-shocked and confused.
You just had 2 edibles, they just kicked in, and you're trying to eat Jell-O. That's what's happening.
Hashtag family friendly.
Hashtag death rat.
Oh, that will be the hashtag, don't you worry. So what is your favorite part about Hogfather or parts, and what is your least favorite part or parts?
Well,
You have
death.
too many.
You're right. I could name like 12 things.
Celine's just gonna name every scene in the movie.
Selene's gonna start, she's gonna give you line by line the whole movie right now.
And also every character. Like,
Well, we'll start off with Susan. I love Susan. First movie I ever saw Michelle Dockery in. Doherty? I don't know what it was. Something. Susan. First movie I saw her in. Fell in love with her.
Many
Then-
people know her as Lady Mary on Downton Abbey.
I started watching Downton Abbey and fell asleep, and I still own the first season and haven't gotten past episode 1. Fun fact. I can lend it to you.
me neither. I've never seen it either.
I've watched the whole thing, but that's for the Downton Abbey podcast, which we already have done.
My interests lie elsewhere.
That's fair. But I love Susan. I love Death. Death is the best. He's just everything I need and more in my movies.
Yes, he's a recurring character in the novels as well, and he is just as great.
Best recurring character of any series ever.
Just as great in the novels, I might add.
And the way that his inserts are just like all italics, and like I will literally not even read the book. I'll just go and look for death.
Yes.
That's how I live my life, is I go and look for death.
I think my actual favorite part of this movie is the humor, is the entire commentary that Terry Pratchett has on the entire book.
On
the
world, on life.
Society.
Like, yeah, on society. He just like throws in these asides that are so witty, and
they're narrated so well too. Whoever narrated this also does a great job.
Actually, the voice of Death is also the
Yeah.
narrator.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, see, there you go.
Terry Pratchett.
Basically just Death. Death.
What's his name? Ian Richardson?
Ian Richardson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to him as well. I looked him up.
Rip.
Also, the entire lines at the end where Susan and Death are talking, and basically he's just like, we gotta believe in the little lies to believe the big lies. And then she goes, but like, what big lies? He's like, truth, justice, mercy. She goes, those aren't big lies. And he goes, yeah, take all the atoms and take them through a sieve, and they're not real. Sieve. I always second guess that word. I'm like, which way is it? And I always guess the wrong way. That entire quote. Fave.
Yeah, it's good. That's a good exchange. That one and the one I already said about Death and Albert earlier are my 2 favorite scenes, I think. And the scene with Susan and the boogeyman that one's also excellent.
Do the voice. Not the voice.
Don't you also like inner child meet?
Yes.
babysitter?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. When Susan goes, inner child, meet inner babysitter, and slaps him. That's great. It's just beautiful.
And then drops him down a hole.
Yes. And he doesn't die, unfortunately.
Tiatame.
Silly boy. Tea time.
He's so creepy.
Yeah, that's right. Show up here, boy. Tea time. I called you that.
I want to know how disorienting it was for him to wear those 2 different contacts. Because
He's a professional. Not at all.
I don't believe it. Because I had to wear colored contacts for a show one time, and it's very hard to see in them. And to have one that's like completely colored for the most part, and then the other one that's colored but, not
Well,
all
remember
the
when
way.
we watched Mikey do the Wendigo makeup, and she said she could barely see anything with the white ones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's really hard to see. So I would imagine to have one that's really hard, like basically hard to see at all, and then the other one that's really obstructive must be really disorienting. But he's a fantastic actor.
Yeah, no, his dedication to that was...
He reminds me kind
Impressive.
of Christopher Lloyd in Who Framed Roger Rabbit a little bit.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Throwback.
Right? Like the creepy high voice bad guy. Because so often they go like lower with villains, but he's got this like creepy bad guy high voice, and then also the insane eyes.
I mean, it's Christopher Lloyd. I'm pretty sure that's just him in the morning.
After he's had his coffee.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I know my favorite part is so shocking. It's hashtag death rat. 3 seconds he's on screen. Yeah. Death rat. If I had to pick anything other than death rat, it would be death rat. Least favorite? Just...
Oh, was that a part of the question too?
It was a part of the question.
We talk too much.
You're Roger Radget. Radget? Ratchet. Savage bougie. Least favorite would just be at the end. Like, the whole movie has, like, you going, yeah. And the end, while good, just... It doesn't quite match the energy because it is tying up so many loose ends and it is getting, like, kind of deep. And then you're just like, yeah.
Yeah, Denise and I have said that, like, they should have put the killing of Tiatame, like, before the Hogfather scene where he, like, dies and comes back to life and is reborn.
And the auditors are defeated.
Yeah, because I feel like that's, like, the true climax and ending of the movie. Like, they really should just end it with the Hogfather standing on that cliff yelling at the sun.
Rocky Balboa.
Yes.
Copyright.
Well, you already sang other things in here. So, so
What's happening?
Play it on a synth.
it was played on a synth.
It's truly joyful when we're all home at the same time, guys.
And sleep
A
deprived.
great family. Yeah, so that's my least favorite part as well, I think. And the part I always fall asleep in, which is the carriage ride. From, like, when they hire Tiatame at the Assassins Guild to, like, when they arrive at the Tooth Fairy's castle. I always fall asleep there. Every time. Well, not every time. After the first 2 times I watched it.
I think my least favorite part is probably when they're at the Tooth Fairy's castle and they've already put the spells on the teeth and, like, have officially kind of done their main job there. Then they're just kind of, like, going around looking for the rest of the doors, and Tiatame is like, whatever's behind the most locked door I've been looking for and didn't even realize. And then everyone's kind of, like, trying to, like, figure out if they can just split yet or if they can steal other things. And it's just, I don't know, that part's just slow and... it's repetitive, not as entertaining, and that's my least favorite part.
Yeah, there's just a lot of stabbing.
Our daughter kept being like, is they gonna die? Are they gonna die? And being like, I don't know, maybe. Not yet. Not yet! She was very concerned.
I don't see the problem. They get to see Death, which is all I want.
Death is busy.
Death is busy. He's delivering presents, but he'll have time later.
So is Hogfather enjoyable all year round, or is it something that requires the holiday mood to enjoy?
Well, according to Selene, whenever she feels like watching it, it's time for Hogfather.
Yes. I think it's all year round, honestly. Like, I mean, you got enough of a feel that it's... The adventure is more the draw of the movie, not necessarily the Christmassy aspects. Also, Death brings a holiday feel of Halloween.
Okay, Nessa.
And
I was representing for her.
And you have the Tooth Fairy, and then there's also, we forgot to mention, the God of Hangovers.
Yes. Oh, God of
Guys, it is a
Bilious.
university with the wizards.
Yes.
School year, all year round. Haven't you all ever heard of Hogswatch in July? That too.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I think I'm really more in the mood to watch it in the holiday season. But I do think that it could be watched year-round.
I feel like that's the same with any holiday movie, though, is that at least once outside of the holiday season a year, you're like, yeah, now it's time for Hocus Pocus. Or like, yeah, now it's time to watch a Hogfather.
Yeah, but I would never be like that about, like, Yeah, now it's time to watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
See,
You
and
it's
it's because it's
Santa Claus coming
distanced
to
enough.
town. I've done that in like March before.
Yeah, but Santa Claus is Coming to Town is a bop. I love that movie.
Excuse me, are you telling me that Sam the Snowman doesn't have some smooth jazz vibes?
Well, everyone loves Burl Ives. But
Also, Bumbles. Are you trying to tell me that Bumbles are not waiting to be watched on
listen,
St.
I
Patrick's
love
Day?
Bumble and Cornelius, but like I like to save them for Christmas. I don't know. So I don't know. For me, I like to save all of my holiday movies for the holidays and then just have like marathons. That's me personally.
Now, you see, the only reason this is a problem in our house is because Kels likes to actually segregate our holiday movies from the normal movies.
I pack them away with all our Christmas
This
stuff.
is the problem.
You banish movies?
She does.
That's so rude!
Agreed!
Oh my god!
I literally found them the
What
first
if you were
year.
that movie and you're in a box all year round?
And I literally had to liberate them. They're now in our gun cabinet with the rated R movies, but like
because we don't actually keep guns.
Muppet Christmas Carol's just crying in a corner because it doesn't get to live with
Okay,
Muppets in
listen, we
space.
don't own a Muppet Christmas Carol, and if we did, that would be out year round.
Oh, so that one's okay in July.
Marley and Marley.
Michael Caine, you're right. He killed Batman. He deserves to be alive. Oh wait, he served Batman. That's
Kill Batman!
I would pay to watch Albert kill Batman. Alfred, that's his name.
I repeat, what's happening?
I would pay to watch Albert, who is the servant of death, kill Batman.
Oh my god, what if Albert and Alfred teamed up? That's a mashup no one saw
What a
coming.
world.
Alright, so why should others consider adding Hogfather to their annual holiday viewing tradition?
Because variety is the spice of life, and it's not like most of your other Christmas movies.
It
Thank you,
certainly
Hallmark.
isn't. It definitely,
Way better
it
than
also
Hallmark.
kind of has like a Dickensian feel.
Oh, yeah.
Now that we've brought up the Muppet Christmas Carol. Which is cool, I think. But it has this like fantasy twist to it that is fun and fresh. And you can't go wrong with British humor. Unless
does
you're
have-
not into that sort of thing, which is weird, and I judge you for that.
It does have a weird kind of 2011 Doctor Who or Christmas Carol vibe.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So if you like that episode, you should watch it.
Yeah, it does. It is a nice split up of the oversaturation of capitalistic Christmas movies of Jingle All the Way and Elf and
And it's not a Hallmark movie.
it's not Die Hard, which I know everyone watches every year like they should.
We do.
And you're not watching it like you watch White Christmas with Bing Crosby, and while we like it, we just don't approve of his lifestyle.
Yeah. So it's safe of all of that. It's fresh and new, but not new, because it's old.
It's new to them.
Yeah.
Finger guns. You can't see them. I did them.
I'm related to you.
Yes, you are.
So, it's time now to rate the Hogfather, and this is a different version of CPU's star scale, or as panelist Hillary calls it, the star business, written just for the holiday mini-pods. So now you get to rate Hogfather, each of you. Is it 5 stars? Holy smokes, is the best holiday miniseries or holiday TV show or holiday set of episodes in history. So 5 stars. Is it 4 stars? It's pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. You enjoy it enough to keep revisiting it, but realize it's not for everyone. Is it 3 stars? There are parts you like, parts you don't like. Mostly you're just in it for the family holiday bonding time. Is it 2 stars? You say nothing to keep the peace. It's a very boring holiday TV tradition, and you would just as soon watch 5 other things, though maybe a part of it is fascinating or holds it together for you long enough to at least tolerate it. Or is it 1 star? If you watch it, it's because your family makes you watch it. Otherwise, pass on this one, guys. It's a snoozer, not fun, not funny, not dramatically exquisite. There's too many good holiday TV shows, specials, and episodes to watch. Give yourself the gift of time. You only wish you could. 1 star. How would you rate Hogfather?
I'm going to go first. I think, personally, for myself, I would give it 5 stars because I love it. But if I am recommending it to others, I would give it 4 stars because I recognize that it's not everyone's cup of tea. It is pretty niche. Yes, that is my final answer.
All right, Regis.
I'm going to give it 4.5 stars because hashtag not enough death rat.
Bring back death rat. Bring back death rat.
No, I think it's excellent. I think, honestly, they did a really, really great job. I think it's excellent. I love it. I realize that not everybody in the world will love it because, yes, like Kel said, it's kind of niche. All of my minor, like very minor qualms I have about it are only because, you know, I had to find something wrong for the podcast. Not really, but
Had to be critical
of something.
Rule.
I think overall it's really great and I love it. And I highly recommend it to everybody because I don't care what you like. I think you'll enjoy it if you give it a try.
I'm going to go with 4.25 stars because I'm difficult.
That's still a fairly reasonable fraction.
Along the same vein, though, it's because it's niche. Because before I recommend it to anyone, I have to kind of suss out if I think they'll enjoy it. Because I know some people who would not, a.k.a. my father. So, like, normally I ask about other things that are more prevalent. Like, so if I ask if they've, like, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, sorry, Terry Pratchett, I know you didn't like him. But if you're, like, more into that vein, or, like, if you've seen Doctor Who, you'd be more open to seeing something like this. Or Quantum Leap, even. Mm-hmm. Where they'd be open to something like that. And then I'm like, yeah, Hogfather. Papa. But yeah, I do know some people who are more like staunchly rigid, Dickensian, Christmas Carol only, Scrooge, Grinch Who Stole Christmas. I'm thinking of classic Christmas movies that aren't the claymation ones.
I was like, Scrooge with Bill Murray?
Isn't there one from the 60s with the exclamation point?
Yeah. No,
I think I was thinking of Scrooged.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Okay. But you know, Bill Murray.
He's a national treasure.
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
He's the leader of underappreciated holidays.
Why wasn't he in the Tooth Fairy movie?
Was he not? I've never seen it. I love you, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Don't hate me.
I'm sure he does now.
I've seen everything else, though, except for Game Plan.
Do you have any final words or parting shots related to the Hogfather?
That was a good specification.
Is it other than hashtag death rat? Is that what we're asking for?
No, that's related, so you're allowed to say it.
Oh.
Just watch it, I think. If you think that you're into any of the things that Denise listed, because that's a good list, I think.
Yeah.
Then I think that you'll be into it. Or if you like fantasy, I think that it's worth a shot. Anglophile, also.
My parting shot is, when are we going to get a Discworld TV show? Someone out there. Someone. I need it.
If you've seen Good Omens.
Oh yeah.
That's Terry Pratchett, y'all, for those who didn't know that.
And Neil Gaiman.
But, like, Stardust as well. If you've seen that, you'll also be into this.
Side note, Good Omens is my favorite book. Just throwing that out there.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Me too.
All right.
It was the first Terry Pratchett book I read, actually.
And it was only half of his job. Damn.
Yeah, but like a lot of it was him. Honestly, if you read it, you can tell.
I mean, I have a soft spot for guards! But that might just be the title being so exclamative.
Monstrous Regiment's my fave, but you know.
Going Postal.
That's also really good.
Going Postal.
And Mort, also very good. If you like death.
See,
Mort,
okay, like I was into
good.
Mort, but I also was reading it illegally online. I'm not entirely sure I read the whole book.
I own it.
So
this is related to Terry Pratchett, at least.
Yeah. That's for final words for all my ASMR fans.
Death rat.
And what better note can we end on than that? So what I'd like to do at this time is thank Denise and Selene and Kels for sharing their holiday tradition with us, Terry Pratchett's Hogfather, related to our very first holiday Minipod. And because we've done that so well and so thoroughly, it's now time to roll the credits. Couch Potatoes Unite! Was produced by Back Pocket Productions, run by yours truly, the Chief Couch Potato, which is really another way of saying executively produced by me. Kylie Piette. My associate producers are Krista Pennington and Selene Rezmer. I edit this podcast, and our logo is by Rebecca Wallace. Our marketing graphic artist is Krista. Our theme song was written by Sarah Milbratz and sung by Sarah, Amy McDaniel, and Kelsey Rezmer. Kelsey played the keyboard, Ian McDonough played the bass, Christian Somerville played the guitar, and the whole kit and caboodle was engineered and produced by Kyle Aspinall and Christian. We hail from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Please, if you like what you hear, take the time to rate us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or Google Play, or wherever you find your podcasts. Give us stars, give us comments, give us reviews. Let us know how we're doing. Send us a message. We might just read it on the podcast. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, what we should keep, what we should toss. You know how it goes. And if you have suggestions on shows we might consider, contact us at our website, couchpotatoesunite.wordpress.com, where we have a guest book, via email at couchpotatoesunitepodcast@gmail.com, or via our social media, Facebook, Twitter at CPU Podcast, and Instagram at Couch Potatoes Unite. Though, of course, we add new and old shows to chat about around the water cooler all the time. We always have several more new episodes coming down the pike. Just listen to our intros, and if you miss old episodes or want to know in general what we cover, just find us. We are everywhere and searchable wherever you look for things on the internet. You can search for us, or you can subscribe at our website, our channels, our social media accounts. Stay up on our new events and episodes. Until the next time, Terry Pratchett'S Hogfather is available in its entirety on IMDb TV or Amazon Prime, which basically is all rolled up into one, I think, right now. Don't ask me. I don't own these companies. In the meantime, if you have nominations for shows we should cover on our podcast, including miniseries, contact us via social media or email. You can volunteer to be a panelist, too. In the meantime, and until next time, until next episode, new episodes are published every Wednesday. Keep listening, keep watching. Happy holidays, and stay tuned.
Happy Hog Squash!